Chris Sewall here, baseball card collector, investor, dealer in that order. Welcome everyone, regular rollers time, let's get to it. We'll start with one sent in by Grant, who wrote, Tom Brady has the most Super Bowl rings with 7, but the player that has the second most Super Bowl rings in history is Charles Haley with 5. He won 2 Super Bowls with the 49ers before being traded to the Dallas Cowboys and winning another 3 rings. Haley is a member of the Pro Football and the College Football Hall of Fame. His cards can be had very cheap. I bought this as a best offer for $5. With shipping and tax, I'm all in for under $10. Yeah, totally agree. I've mentioned this a number of times, especially in football. If you just sort of dodge the quarterbacks and the really big names, you can get some all-time greats, some nice cards, auto here for not a lot of money. Great collector value in my opinion. I saw this sale the other day on eBay and it just got me thinking about something. It's a 1990 Fleer Michael Jordan. It's graded PSA Mint 9, very common card. And it sold for $22, which is basically current market value. But what it got me thinking about was that the grading companies and their lowest cost services that they're offering. Like at the moment, PSA is offering $19. That's their lowest service. The other companies are similar, but it's cards like this Michael Jordan, which and this sale, which make me think that they're not going to lower their costs anymore. And the reason is this card, just as an example, there's so many copies of this card available in mint condition raw. You can go on any number of platforms and find lots of them. You buy collections and there'll often be just a bunch of them in there. It's a super overprinted card. But if a PSA 9 goes for $22, dealers can find this card for a quarter, 50 cents, $1. And if they were to send them in at the $19 level, you're sort of not worth it because you really got to hit a number of 10s. That's harder than it used to be. You know, you might get some 8s and lose some money. It doesn't really add up. But if grading fees were $10 a card, it would definitely add up because you can easily, as a dealer, find 100 of these for $1 each, send in 100 of them at $10 each, sell them all at PSA 9s for $22, and you're doubling your money basically. That's a formula that works. But so as long as the values of cards like this stay here, I don't think PSA is going to lower their price anymore because if they do, they're just going to get flooded with orders, loaded with cards like this, and then there's going to be another heavy backlog situation, which I'm sure they don't want. And I don't know if what I just said is, an accurate analysis, but that was a sort of a thought that I had. This one is sent in by Corey. It's not exactly a regular rollers item, but he wrote, while the rest of the market seems to be correcting or coming down, 90s inserts have remained pretty steady and may have even increased over the past 18 months. My buddy and I were watching this 1998 Ken Griffey Jr. Donruss Crusade Purple PSA 9, thinking the last few minutes would become a huge bidding war. To our surprise, it ended up selling well under half of what we thought it would go for, which was kind of a bummer for me since I have one of the other 3 9s in the pop report. After comparing recent sales of both the green and red parallels of the card, we estimated it would go for closer to 7 to 8K. Either the market is shifting or someone got a steal. Curious to know your thoughts. So I researched this a little bit, and I would actually say the price more or less seems right to me. I mean, with 90s inserts, it's really hard. There's just not a lot of comps, and there's so many outside influences that can change the price, especially in an auction, which this was. A lot of it has to do with the auction company that's running it, or just the timing. Did they get lucky, the right people seeing the auction at the right time, whatever. But the price doesn't strike me as strange here. There was a Derek Jeter PSA 10 that sold a couple of months ago for $2,900, basically the same price here. Now, Griffey's going to outsell Jeter in the 90s, but the Jeter was a 10, Griffey here was a 9, so, maybe that's about a wash. Again, really tough to say. It doesn't strike me as weird. I would say you can't really compare it to the sales of the reds or the greens. I know they're at a 50, or I think they're 50 and 25, but when you're dealing with the 90s inserts, it's sort of exponential how important the low serial number it is. So, a number out of 50 is probably more than double the 1 out of 100 generally, just because they're just so hard to find at this point. This was sent by Matt, who wrote, I won this recently on eBay, and I also went through the eBay Authenticity Guarantee program, even though the winning bid was just $57. I usually buy mostly baseball, basketball, and football cards, but I thought this 1980 OPC hockey card was pretty low for a Gem Mint BVG 9.5, so I put in a bid and ended up winning. I think he got a great deal on an alternative rookie card of one of the all-time great defensemen, Ray Bourque. Yeah, totally agree. BVG is not particularly popular with vintage collectors, but I mean it's certainly a credible brand, and PSA 9s of this card go for $200. So yeah, I think you got a great deal here, great price, and like you said, great alternative rookie here. His rookie card from the same year, same set, 1980. But not the record breaker is 10 times this, or maybe even more than that. So great alternative rookie to add to your collection for a great price. This was sent by Thomas who wrote, I ran across this extreme dichotomy. It seems to me that the 1964 Topps Giants set is about as unpopular as any set of the cards there is. By contrast, Mickey Mantle is about as popular of any player that there is. Well, in this lot, I bought that there was the clash of those two opposing points. I looked at the cards and they all seem to be in at least a VG condition. I checked the comps and the Mantle has sold north of $100 several times, which dramatically lesser amounts for the other three cards. So I took a chance and bought this lot for around $54 all in. Would you say this was a good buy, a great buy, or would you have passed? So I think this is an absolute no-brainer buy. I definitely would have bought this if I had seen this for the price. I think like you said, the Mantle alone will get you double your money probably, unless there's like a bunch of hidden creases on it or something that the photos aren't showing. It looks really nice in the photo, and it's described as near mint or ex-mint to near mint in the description. So I think you're pretty safe here, not a lot of risk. Like you said, should more than double your money on the Mantle. You'll end up with 3 free cards that aren't worth a whole lot, but you'll have already made back your money and some on the Mantle, so I think you did really well here. I always really like these cards. 1991 Skybox, and all 3 cards are in the 91 Skybox basketball set, but if you put them all together, like you see here, they form a picture of the Dream Team, which is the 1992 Olympic Barcelona basketball team, basically the greatest basketball team ever assembled. You got Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. But I think all 10 of these players are Hall of Famers, and I think all of them, maybe exception of Chris Mullin, were on the top 50 players of all time list that came out a few years ago. But really, really cool 3-card set. Went for $25. What's interesting is you can actually buy these for just a couple dollars each. So, in theory, you could go buy each one for a few dollars and list it here, and maybe it'd sell for $25. I don't know if this was a standard sale for the 3-card set or not, but that's not really the point. More is just a sort of an interesting 3-card item that I thought is cool. This was sent by Guy when we had one of these a few months ago, but he wrote, I don't know if you remember the Wilt Chamberlain movie prop card graded by a company trying to look like PSA, but I found another on Facebook Marketplace, and I wonder how many people fall for that. I think this card looks fake and inauthentic, but I'm wondering what you think. This card is for sure a fake, no question about it. Doesn't look right at all. Colors are entirely off, and the PSA label is not accurate at all. It doesn't have the PSA logo, and the red border on the label is made to look like a PSA label there. Everything about this is wrong. The back, everything about it's wrong. 1909 T206 Sweet Capital Ty Cobb movie prop card. It's possible this was made for a movie. Sort of something to have in the background so that it looks like an legit Ty Cobb card. And yeah, if it was in like the background of a film, it might pass as like a Ty Cobb PSA graded card, but I can't imagine this has any value unless it was actually in a specific movie and somebody can point to that, then maybe, but otherwise this is just a fake, not worth anything. Here's a good warning sign for anyone prospecting or buying ultra modern, the hot young player looking to get rich in the long run. This is a 2015 Immaculate Rookie Patch Auto of Marcus Mariota. It's serial numbered out of 99. Nice 3-color patch, and in 2015, Marcus Mariota was the number 2 overall pick in the NFL draft, number 2 overall, and this card sold for $52 in auction. So, if this was a rookie patch auto from Immaculate, 3-color patch out of 99 of one of the top draft picks in the this past year, let's say Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, or Anthony Richardson, this would be thousands upon thousands of dollars, and if it was a high grade, it would be tens of thousands of dollars. And here, just 7 years later, the card would be $50, assuming they pan out like a Marcus Mariota, which is more likely than they pan out to, say, be Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady. Here's a nice little vintage bargain, 1952 Topps Bob Feller. So the 1952 Topps set is one of the most important of all time. It has the famous Mickey Mantle. It has a bunch of other key cards as well, and Hall of Famers. Bob Feller's an all-time great starting pitcher. He's a Hall of Famer. Now this card's low grade, obviously creased pretty heavily. Certainly poor condition, but it's presentable poor. It's not ripped up or gross or anything like that. No paper loss, no serious issues, but again, this is a low grade card for sure. About $30, 1952 Topps Bob Feller from the all-important set, famous set of a Hall of Famer, and PSA 1s sell for $80. So if you wanted to buy this, send it to PSA, you could probably squeeze a small profit out of it as well. This was sent by Tyler, who wrote, I recently lucked out buying something blind, something I've only done twice due to that intuitive gut feeling, and it paid off in my opinion. To clarify, I did not pay the sticker price you see here, but I went to a comic and collectibles store because I got the itch. I bought a Grail rookie I never expected to own, an extremely clean number 148 Bowman, a 1955 Topps Jim Thorpe, the cleanest 63 Roberto Clemente Salade T pin I've ever seen, and the blind buy was a 1961 Topps baseball stamp book. The book was sealed in a protective case and stated it had 128 of the 180 stamps included. At the asking price of $99.99, I felt like it was a solid gamble without knowing recent comps or even what stamps were included. As you can see, I hit a good amount of Hall of Famers, and just the Mantle alone would cover the purchase price of the album. It was a great day in the hobby, especially when I got 20% off at checkout from the previously agreed upon prices. And I'll finish on a vintage bargain. This was sent by Moritz, who wrote, I found this Rick Barry rookie in pretty solid shape and got it for a ridiculously low price in my opinion, even with about $15 shipping to Germany. Barry is a legendary Hall of Fame player, holds the highest scoring average in ABA history, NBA Finals history, and is the only player ever to lead the NCAA, the ABA, and the NBA in scoring for a season. And of course, he has his underhand free throw technique as an unforgettable feature. Under $20 for this 50-plus-year-old rookie seems like a great deal. What do you think? Yeah, I definitely agree. This was a total steal for this price. This card I would have expected to go for over $50, and you got it for, less than half that. I guess with shipping, not less than half that, but still well less than that. And even if it was $50, I mean, like you said, 50-year-old Hall of Fame rookie card here in solid mid-grade condition. I'd call that a vintage bargain. But that's it for this week's regular rollers. Hope everyone enjoyed, and see you all again next time. Thanks, everyone.